Why are we always stuck in pointless business meetings? Most business meetings, honestly, could have been an email, right? Especially if you have a manager who doesn't know how to make a point and they talk around the entire issue. And a meeting, even if it does need to be a meeting, it could have been 15 minutes instead of an hour. Are you tired of being stuck in pointless business meetings? Well, if so, you're in the right place. That's what this video is all about. Today, I am going to give you my fail-safe method to get out of pointless meetings, and it even works on your boss. Stick around.
Guild coaching, more success, less stress.
We've all been there, sitting in a meeting, wondering why in the world we're actually in that meeting. Sometimes you get meeting invitations from people who invite you only because they don't want you to feel left out. Personally, I'm fine if I'm left out of your business meeting because I have so many other things to do. Don't worry about my feelings, just don't invite me unless my presence or input is specifically needed. So if you found yourself in that position, I have a way for you to get out. It's actually a formula. There are some specific questions that you need to ask in order to avoid being wrapped up and brought into pointless meetings. The first thing that you have to do, though, is muster up just a little bit of guts because you're going to have to really own these questions. These questions that I'm going to teach you today to ask that will help keep you out of pointless business meetings. It'll also help keep you out of pointless tasks that anybody tries to hand you for any reason. This works not just in business, but also in your personal life. So the first thing that you have to do, though, is get a little bit of guts. Okay, so get your spine in line and own it, because you have to own this or it's not going to be believable on the other side and you're going to find yourself right back in that pointless meeting that you were trying to get out of to begin with. So the very first thing you've got to ask yourself, and there's 5 questions, the very first thing that you have to ask, and you're going to ask the person who's making the request of you, is what is the purpose? What's the purpose of this? You need to know the purpose of every meeting. If somebody asks, well, can you meet Monday at 2? Sure. Just because you don't have something on your calendar doesn't mean that the meeting is purposeful. If it doesn't help you meet your goals, then you don't belong in that meeting. So your first question that you have to ask is, what is the purpose of this meeting? Why am I going to be involved in this meeting? Then when you know the purpose, you can start to discern for yourself whether you are actually needed in that meeting. The second question that you need to ask is, do I need to be in this meeting? You don't have to ask it in a bad way, like, do I even need to be there? You can say, do you need me in that meeting? What is my role? What part do you need me to play in this meeting? If the person can't define the part that you need to play in the meeting, then you don't need to be in the meeting. So that immediately gets you out of it right then. Oh, well, thanks for letting me know you were just inviting me as an FYI. I have a lot of other things to do. Let me know if you need my input on something. I'm happy to give you that. The third thing that you need to ask is, great, what should I prepare for this meeting? If the other person doesn't need you to prepare anything for the meeting, then that might also be an indication that you're not actually needed there. Then, especially if this meeting has to do with work, you can ask, does it actually need to be me, or can someone else represent the reason that I need to be there? So if you're a manager, can someone on my team represent me? Can someone on my team fill this role? Can I make good use of their time by making better use of my time? Okay, and then the fifth thing that you need to ask is of yourself. This isn't going to be a question that you're going to ask of the person who's making the request of you. The fifth thing that you need to ask is, now that you know the purpose of the meeting, now that you know whether or not you are needed, or if you're just invited as a courtesy, now that you know what your prep work is, if you do need to go, now that you know whether you're personally needed Or if a member of your team can represent you and bring to the table what you would have been bringing to the table. Now that you've got all those things lined up, now you have to ask yourself this very, very important question. Does this meeting perfectly align with my goals and my priorities? That's a big question, because if it doesn't, even if the other person needs you in that meeting, if it doesn't directly align with your goals and your priorities, then I promise you, you don't need to be in that meeting. They might need you, but you don't need them. Now, there's a special gift for you. If you have found this useful, look down in the comments section and I have a link. I've created these 5 questions as an infographic, so you can print it out and put it somewhere in your office. So it's just right there so you don't have to memorize them. And when somebody calls you, sends you an email, you can say, oh, what were those questions? And you look up at them and you can say, oh, here's where they are. And it takes you directly through those steps. So you never have to get stuck in a pointless meeting again. If this is of use to you, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Leave me some comments down there. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what kind of job that you have and what other topics you'd like us to talk about here on Guild's YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you check us out on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Guild Coaching. And we will see you next time. Don't forget, before you go, hit that subscribe button. Bye.